Okay, let's just get the Winterfell plot out of the way. Arya accuses Sansa of having a hand in Ned's death by reading out a message that doesn't really hint at that. Sansa tells her that actually she was the one who won the Battle of the Bastards. Arya threatens her with Lyanna fucking Mormont. Sansa resorts to Littlefinger. He tells her that she should use Brienne for protection, so Sansa just sends her away to King's Landing. Sansa discovers Arya's Scooby-Doo villain masks and asks her about them. Arya just says random stuff and leaves. Okay, now that's out of the way, let's go north. The Fellowship's off on a sunny winter day north of the Wall, and it's the fun we've all expected. Jon and Tormund argue about geographical technicalities, Gendry complains about naked women, the Hound and his merry men drink and tell Gendry to fuck off, Jon and Jorma discuss family heirlooms. Tormund then shares rhetoric about his broad view on the importance of one surrendering his egotistical self-respect in lieu of the preservation of his followers, hinting at its futility when the primary concern is the survival and liberation of the very same community his judgment is attempting to safeguard in the first place. And in the next scene makes a dick joke. As he speaks with the Hound, he brings up his scar and how he got it. This seems like it's foreshadowing something. But what? He then sees a mountain. The trip was worth it after all. Clegane Bowls fucking confirmed. A storm arrives, and with it, a zombie bear. Which is basically a regular bear. He kills... who did he kill? Who's this guy? Thoros then goes all DiCaprio on the bear's ass, and then they kill him. Well, mission accomplished. Now that the guy in the red shirt was killed by a zombie north of the Wall, all they need to do is bring him south and... Wait, where are you going? Oh, for fuck's sake. Now the storm is gone, they find a walker with some whites who are patrolling apparently. Jon takes the White Walker down, and all the zombies except one immediately die. So they tie up the zombie. But they hear something. Could it be the army of the dead? Even worse, a huge horde of book fans, outraged by the direction the series is taking, is bent on total annihilation and fastly approaching. So they run away, and as usually when people follow Jon Snow, they get surrounded. Luckily, the army of the dead either don't know how to swim, or they find the water is just a bit too cold, even for the gods of winter. So they Dunkirk their ass while they wait for an ex machina, after sending Gendry to do something only he can do. Sprint for several miles to Eastwatch and throw a raven to Dragonstone ASAP. After God knows how long, the zombies figure out the lake ain't frozen anymore. So they just fight for a long time until Dany arrives with her dragons to save the day. But just when they thought everything was fine and dandy, the Night King throws a spear at one of the dragons and kills him. After that, our band of merry men plus the Dragon Queen hightail it back to the Wall before the Blue Men group can do any more harm. Jon stays behind, presumably just to allow Benjen to save him 1 minute later, so the showrunners can win a bet about how many ex machinas one can cram into a single episode. Then they all go safely south. So Jon and Dany decide to fall in love with one another, and after she tells him not to worry, he says he'll bend the knee. Unluckily for him, she didn't get the Earl's sex hint, and sends a raven informing of the annexation of the North instead. Before the episode closes, we have some good news and some bad news for our heroes. The bad news is, the White Walkers retrieved the dragon and converted him to the dark side of the Force. Good news is, in order to do that, they had to build a forge, get a smith, and weld half a mile of massive chains, which means they probably gave them lots of time to prepare, especially if we take into account that they had to forge them without the use of fire.